Here is the beginning of your journey to become a drone pilot. It is divided into a few sections here. So the first one we'll cover briefly, which is to become a certificated remote pilot for first-time pilots. To get to this page, you can type it in or just do a search, become a certificated remote pilot at FAA.gov, and you should be able to come up with this page. So briefly going over first-time pilots, you need to read this stuff, and this is what you need to comply with. What this video is for at this point is to alert all pilots that already have a Part 61 certificate, such as an ATP or a private pilot, or even I think recreational pilot, whatever is governed under Part 61 and issued under Part 61, then this, if you have one of those, then this is what you need to comply with. And the thing I'll point out first is that you don't take the 107 test, you just have to complete a Part 107 small UAS initial online training course, as well as some other requirements. So don't prepare to take the 107 exam. Instead, in fact, don't go pay the 175 or whatever. All you have to do is click here, and it goes to FAAsafety.gov, small 107, small UAS initial for Part 61 pilots. Enroll in the class. The course overview, introduction, course content, resources, glossary, and course review. Enroll in the class. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my email address in there, and your password will be hidden as you type it. Well, let's see. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. Email and password. Don't have an account. Okay, yeah, this is your FAA account. So anyway, I need to go get that information and then log in. But then you just take the course, and you can see right here, if we backtrack here, it says here, actually let's go back one more. The cost was listed here somewhere, which is nothing. Oh, here it is. So Part 107 small UAS initial, which is not a test, I don't believe, but you just do it right here, even if it is a test. But it's a course, and there's no cost. So that's the good news. You can do it right on your computer. So let's go back to first-time pilots. So again, if you are a pilot already, an airline pilot, a private pilot, a recreational pilot, if you have a license already or a certificate that's issued under Part 61, then you don't need to take the 107 test. So first-time pilots. To become a pilot, you must be, and this is for drone pilot, at least 16 years old, be able to speak, read, write, and understand English, be in physical and mental condition to safely fly a drone, pass the initial aeronautical exam, unmanned aircraft general, small UAG. And that will be actually shown in Part 107. In fact, that is the name of Part 107, Unmanned Aircraft General, small. So, again, if you are already a pilot, do not take the 107 exam. Just come to this page, scroll down, and go to existing Part 61 certificate holders, which we'll read in a little bit and go over. But again, you've got to take the initial 107 small UAS initial right here. You just click there and you can take it right there, the course, and maybe an exam after, but it's not something you have to pay for. Existing Part 61 holders will come back. You do have to do some online recurrent, just like 107 guys that have to take the test originally. So to become a certified remote pilot, if you do not have a pilot license already, we've read this amount, or this area. Requirements for remote pilot certificate: must be easily accessible by the remote pilot during all UAS operations. Certificate holder must complete the online training course every 24 months or maintain aeronautical knowledge recency, to maintain aeronautical knowledge recency. Now, I don't know if you need to take that initially or if the 107 counts for that right now, but we'll follow up on that later. Navigating the process to become a drone pilot. We're not in Part 107 yet. This is just a page the FAA has on their website to navigate the process, which I wish I had gone to a few weeks ago. Navigating the process to become a drone pilot. Step 1, obtain an FAA tracking number, an FTN. So you need to go to IACRA, Integrated Airman Certification and Rating Application, in order to you have to have a tracking number before you can take the test. Schedule an appointment with an FAA approved knowledge testing center after you have your FTN. And an FTN, you're going to have to make a IACRA account and have a password and username and all of that. Once you have that, you'll supply that to the FAA approved knowledge testing center, and if you click on here, find a test center. So this is who does this. I guess the FAA is outsourcing this to private entity PSI. I assume they're a private entity. View test authorization requirements. Here's a reminder. New user. Create an account to get your FAA tracking number. That's the IACRA. So a reminder there to do it again. You can actually create the account right here. And then see, create an account. Yeah. So you can just create your IACRA account right here. And if you've already got an IACRA account, you probably already have a Part 61 certificate. If not, then you already know what an IACRA account is. Maybe you've been dealing with something else that I don't know about that you would need an IACRA account for other than Part 61 certificates. There's also an option here to call toll-free customer service representative for any questions. Interested in helping FAA develop your high-quality certification test? Then PSI needs your help. All right. So, view test authorization requirements. FAA Airman Knowledge Testing Matrix. Airman applicants who do not already have an FTN should establish an FTN by creating a profile, which we just were on the previous page. You could click there and do so. And if you need help, call the 800 number. Acceptable forms of identification. You can read that. U.S. citizens and resident aliens. Read that. U.S. non-U.S. citizens. So if you have any question what you need, go ahead and read that. Just pause the video. By the way, this video should have a closed captioning option in case you want to see the actual words I'm speaking. So again, just pause there and read that if you're not sure what identification you need to have. And read this if you're it's related. Age verification. Read that. Just pause this page and read it if you have any questions about some of these items. I'm not going to go over this stuff. I don't really understand that myself yet. We have some reference material links here. So for studying, you can actually come here. And it looks like the only thing you're going to need to study is Part 107, because under Part 61 there's nothing to do with drone pilots that I know about. 63, certification other than pilots. There might be something there. Certification airmen other than flight crew members. Could be there too. 141, schools. Pretty sure that's not going to apply to you. CFR Part 147, aviation maintenance technician schools. There could be some drone stuff there. U.S. pilot wishing to obtain a Canadian license or Canadian pilot wishing to obtain a U.S. certificate should review this advisory circular. And for those that aren't aware of what an AC is, an FAA advisory circular, you can go to the FAA.gov and see all the circulars. They're not regulations, but they're regulatory in nature, I think I can say. They're best practices or just information about a particular subject. For example, if you want to have a electronic flight bag, an EFB, in your cockpit instead of paper charts, there would be an FAA advisory circular about that. I believe there's also maybe some Part 91 regs regarding that. But lots of advisory circulars that can give you lots of information, and maybe there's some about drones in the advisory circulars. But this particular advisory circular is about Canadian to US, US to Canadian certification process. Acceptable forms of applicant address verification. Pause this if you need to read that. Other acceptable forms of applicant address verification. If you're not on the website following along with me, just go ahead and pause this. It looks like some more Canadian conversion stuff here. As well as maybe something else. I'm not going to go over it. If any of this looks interesting, pause and read over it. Again, none of this is applicable as far as I'm concerned. If you fail the test, then it looks like you'll come here to see what to do next. It looks like a 30-day waiting period is required before retesting. If the applicant presents a failed AKTR, I don't know what that stands for. Okay, it stands for Airman Knowledge Test Report. So if the applicant presents a failed AKTR but no retesting endorsement, and that's note 1, retests do not require a 30-day waiting period if the applicant presents a signed statement from an airman holding the certificate and ratings sought by the applicant. This statement must certify that the airman has given the applicant additional instruction in each of the subjects failed, and that the airman considers the applicant ready for retesting. By the way, if you missed in the beginning of this video, what we're going over right now is the 107 test requirements for airmen that do not have an air certificate already, or pilot license as it's called, for under Part 61. So recreational pilot through airline transport pilot, private pilot, all that. If you have one of those already, you don't need to take the test. Go to the top and follow the directions that say, let's just go back up there for a second. Yeah, we're in a different document. So just go back to the original document from the beginning of this video and go to if you already have a Part 61 certificate, something like that. I don't see that any of this is pertinent to most people. By the way, if you need a question answered, you can put it in the comments and I'll try to address it. I'm going to just go really fast through all of this. This is obviously not just for drone pilots. Well, here's something that relates to us. Unmanned aircraft systems, Airman Knowledge Testing Supplement for sport pilots, recreational pilots, remote pilots, and private pilot. Interesting. Unmanned aircraft general small. Authorization for the UAG test requires no instructor endorsement. Or other forms of written authorization. Acceptable forms of retest. Expired AKTR failed. Well, let's just open this supplement and see what's there. So remote pilot. So this is a document you can download right here. All right. Didn't know about this. So contents. Chart excerpts. Let's see how it's presented. I wonder if it's all one document for all of the above applicants. Oh, excellent. Okay, so you got a sectional chart legend, which is, if you actually have a sectional aeronautical chart, this will all be on there. So go and download this. This will be good information to help you pass the 107. And for pilots, that already have a 61, you probably want to look at this stuff, because if you're not a CFI teaching private pilots, you're probably not up on all this stuff.